Hello, I am Diane Spadola, and welcome to the Thursday afternoon tune-up. This is episode number 64, and this video series is brought to you by Accelerate Your Success, the Business Booster program for artists and entertainers. We have a private Facebook group where I release a lot of free content and conduct free educational webinars. So you can jump on over to Facebook when I'm done and join the free Facebook group by the same name, Accelerate Your Success. Think of this video as your information and inspirational pit stop before the race, which would have been your busy weekend. I don't know if you guys are feeling anything like me, but if you are, I've been very productive, very busy, very energized for the last 3 weeks or so. And then this week I sort of hit the wall, and I'm not quite sure what that's about because it seems like things are more settled now than they were 2 weeks ago. So I think it's kind of weird. One of the things that I have done is I recently was on a webinar with ILEA, which is the International Live Events Association. It's a trade industry group for event planners and anybody that serves the special events industry. One of the things that we talked about today is a Harvard Business Review article that appeared, I think, last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, March 23rd. I'll put it in the notes and I will let people know that they can go and find that. But it looked like this, okay? And it's about how we process grief, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. So I think one of the things that is interesting is that there are really 2 types of grief that we're processing at the present moment. One is this individual grief, and it's actually an understanding that we personally have lost a lot. You know, we've lost our kids going off to school. We may have lost our job. We have spouses in the house with us. You can't go out. You can't meet your friends. You can't socialize. You can't participate in special celebrations. All of those things are taking a toll, and we need to give ourselves an opportunity to actually grieve the loss of these things as artists and entertainers and event planners. Our whole livelihood has basically been destroyed in the last month or so. But then there's also anticipatory grief. And that grief is concerns, worries, even anxiety associated with uncertainty. We don't really know when this is going to end. All right. We know it's not going to last forever, but we also don't know how the world is going to be different in the future and whether our livelihoods will be safe, whether people will still have large special events. We don't know what the restrictions are going to be when people are allowed to no longer stay in their homes. So what is it going to look like? Is there going to be an intermediary type of shelter in place when we're not in our home, but we're only allowed to gather in small groups? I don't know the answer to that. I do think that we need to navigate the grief in order to move on so that we can recover, get ready for recovery from a place of strength, a place of power, a place of confidence. In order to get at that strength, our health, our families, our jobs, the global economy, none of that can we control, okay? But what we can control is our own response to all of those things. So your thoughts, your actions, your well-being. They talk in an airline about when the oxygen masks come down, should they ever come down in an emergency, you're supposed to put your own mask on first. And why is that? It's because you need to have the strength and the personal well-being in order to be able to help others. So what can we do to shore up our own health right now? What can we do in order to Be protected from the grief, both the individual grief and the anticipatory grief that all these things that are out of our control have brought to us. My suggestion is radical self-care. And I know it sounds crazy, but it has to do with putting on your own mask first. So what I'd like to do is encourage you to follow some of these steps. Start every day with gratitude. Life is not over as we know it. There are still some things that we can be grateful for. And starting every day with gratitude, writing those things down, not only is it easy, but it's free and it feels good. So that way you can actually start every day feeling good. Secondly, sleep. Do not deny yourself of sleep. Now, I know that there are some people that probably want to go under the covers and stay there forever. But for others, like me, having a continual night's sleep has actually turned out to be quite hard in this period of time. So it's time to take a look at your sleep habits and put in place some good habits like turning off your electronic devices, drinking warm milk, eliminating caffeine partway through the day so that you're not really wired. Drinking wine causes you to wake up multiple times in the evening once you have been asleep. It might help you to go to sleep, but it won't help you to stay asleep. So focus some on your sleep because everybody needs probably more sleep to deal with the uncertainty and anxiety that exists in the world today. Then there's your physical health, things like nutrition and physical movement. I don't need to tell you the advice associated with those two things, but since we're all at home now, we all have the capacity to eat healthy or not. And I would encourage you to examine how your relationship with food is being affected by the COVID-19 crisis. Physical movement is going to be good no matter what. The other thing that I think one should consider is that maybe now is the time to work on a hobby, to work on reading that good book, to watch a movie with your kid, to color something, to step back from the hustle and bustle and actually take some time to kind of hunker down within yourself and do what feels good to you. If it means baking chocolate chip cookies, then do that. If it means reading the Sunday funny papers, do that. If it means, spending an hour putting on extreme makeup, do that. Now is the time that we can actually be good to ourselves, carve out a little piece of every day, and give that time to yourself. It's kind of like you're giving yourself what you really, really want. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but it's like putting on your own mask first. That's all for this week. Have a good weekend.